We define the mind beyond consciousness and non-consciousness, beyond subjective experience. We define it as a self-organizing, which means it's an emergent property of a complex system. It's self-organizing, embodied relational process. So it's both in the body, not just in the head, and it's also in relationships. It's both. And that it's regulating something. It's regulating energy and information flow. And that's unique. So when you say what's different about IP and B, nowhere else will you find a definition of the mind. And certainly, since there is no definition, you won't find this definition because there's no definition. So in doing that, then we can then take the next step, say, well, if that's a working definition of one part of the mind beyond subjective experience, beyond consciousness, what's a healthy mind? And how would assessment try to feel the texture of a healthy mind or an unhealthy mind?
Mm-hmm.
And we make a statement about that. We, through long lines of reasoning, and you can read about this in The Developing Mind or other textbooks in the Interpersonal Neurobiology series from Norton, we say that health comes from integration, and you and I have had conversations about this at length before,
Right.
but integration is the linkage of differentiated parts, and the energy and information flow in your body, or the energy and information flow between you and me right now in our relationship, are the same essence. So this is the part that throws a lot of people in academics or even in other fields that aren't used to thinking in this way. Energy and information flow. Energy is the capacity to do stuff. It has different forms: kinetic energy, electrical energy, photon energy, all sorts of forms of energy. The brain, the nervous system, is basically electrochemical energy flow. But all aspects of a relationship ride along patterns of energy flow. Now, sometimes those patterns, whether they're in the brain or in our relationship, have symbolic value beyond just their pattern. And so an energy flow that has symbolic value we call information. So that's what that means. And the word flow just means change across time. So when that flow is integrated, it's harmonious. And you can get a feeling for that in an assessment when a person talks flexibly, when they seem adaptive to what's changing their environment. So the stresses they encounter, what's called the allostatic load, the changes in all these ways of homeostasis being challenged. You know, my work job changed, my kids went off to school, my husband's an alcoholic and he's getting in recovery now, and these are all stressors on me. The way you deal with stressors can be done with flexibly, so you adapt. You can stay what's called coherent, meaning you have a clear view of what's going on, you see the positives and negatives, and you incorporate your ongoing life story in an open, fluid way. That's coherent. And you're energized, you have vitality for life, or you're excited to be alive, you're appreciative. And then you have a kind of dynamic stability where things change as you move along, but generally, you have a sense of not falling off the cliff.